Hey everybody, I just wanted to make a video on our other boat, the boat that the Triton is actually replacing. This is our 1998 Hydra-Sports 171. This was actually our first project boat and we did a substantial amount of work to it, but I never bothered to make any videos on it, so I just wanted to take this opportunity and do a bit of a walkthrough slash boat tour and an overview of everything that was done to the boat before we took it out. We actually got this boat in 2019 and did a lot of fishing with it, so I'll give you a boat overview and then we'll cut to some of last season and the season before's fishing stuff. So come on, right this way. So a Hydra-Sports 171 is a 17-foot 1-inch multi-species hull made by Hydra-Sports, of course. Powering the boat is a 1998 Evinrude Intruder 115. Which has had a substantial amount of work done to it as well. The trailer is in fantastic shape also. We went through that and did a bunch of work to it. But overall, when we first got the boat, it was really in very good condition and didn't need a lot of maintenance. Most of the stuff we did was just either cosmetic or was just for our peace of mind. So let's start the boat tour. We'll start at the bow here. It still has its original, I believe this is actually an Evinrude, yep. An Evinrude trolling motor. I don't know the thrust. It is 12 or 24 volt, which is very interesting. We always ran it on 24 volt for the juice. At the bow of the boat, there's really not too much to speak of. I do have HDS 5 here. We do a lot of shallow water, largemouth fishing currently, so really is just to tell us things like water temperature and location, and for marking spots and stuff like that. Let's get inside the boat here. Oh yeah! At the bow, your only storage is just this one compartment. This is where we keep a lot of our boater safety stuff. So lines, life jackets, fenders, etc. I do keep some baits up there and stuff when we are tournament fishing, just out of convenience, so I don't have to go in the back. Like you can see, this is your front view of the Hydra-Sports. Nice bicycle seat there. The only other storage up front is this compartment here. We mostly, it's pretty small, so we mostly just keep odds and ends in here. I'll throw the covers for the finders in there. I keep a pair of goggles in there for when I knock stuff off the boat and I've got to jump in the water to retrieve it. Some towels, flare kit, first aid kit, bug spray, odds and ends. It's pretty small in there, so it's pretty difficult to, you couldn't really use it for any sort of tackle storage or organization, not in a major way. You're not going to fit any Plano boxes or anything in there, but if you had to, you could certainly put some stuff in there. Moving back in the boat, this is actually access for the fuel cell. So as opposed to a traditional bass boat like this Triton, where the fuel cell is in the back behind the helm or behind the seats, the fuel cell and all of the weight of the fuel is actually up closer to the bow of this boat. How that affects the performance, I can't really say one way or another. I always thought the boat drove great regardless, but some people might say that would affect the bow lift. There's the tank. As you can see, or I guess you can't see because it's hidden, but on this boat we went through and replaced all of the fuel lines. So all of the fill lines and supply lines to the motor, all the way from the tank, all the way back to the mill back there. Moving backwards through the boat, here's our rod locker. It's a generous rod locker. We can normally bring, usually about 10 to 12 rods for 2 anglers. There is no rod organization in there, but it's a nice big rod locker. We usually just keep a bunch of towels to keep the rods separated from each other and so that the reels don't damage each other while they're in there. Can easily fit 8-foot flipping rods in there as well. At the helm, we've got all your regular accoutrements. Fortunately, even for a boat this age, all of our gauges work, all of our switches work. I have a HDS 7 at the bow. It's not the biggest or newest screen in the world, but it always does the trick for me. I've never had the desire for anything more than that. Over here, obviously, throttle and motor control. live well controls. Those are both cable operated and both work. The seats are a flip style seat, like a jump seat, I guess you would call it. Again, in fair condition, original to the boat. And then underneath of the seats, more storage. They just flip up. That's where we store things like our rod sleeves, some extra bait and tackle, fish handling stuff for when we get pike and musky. This right here is our homebrew casting deck. They did make a casting deck for these hulls. I don't know where you would ever find one, and if you did ever find one, I'm sure they would be incredibly expensive. So we actually made this one out of aluminum C-channel, and we just put a plywood piece on there and then carpeted it and put in a post for the rear seat. It is a jump style seat as well, or a flip up, and we really would like to change that out to a bicycle seat in the future if we plan on keeping the boat. Moving backwards further still, we've got our live wells. So this is the main live well. There's a large live well. It's just got a couple life jackets in it right now, and this is an absolutely enormous live well. I think it's probably about 40 to 42 inches long. You could probably put some gigantic pike and musky in there if you wanted to, but we you know, it's very, very comfortable to keep 5 large bass in there. It's huge. Put those back. Also a convenient place to keep your life jackets while you're traveling. On the other side of the boat is the other live well, or bait well, I guess if you want to call it that. There's a jug for scale. This is probably more the size of most bass boat live wells that would be on a conventional boat, but we use it for storage mostly. The primary concern in this boat is this is where we keep all of our bait and tackle, is underneath of the insert there, which makes it a little inconvenient when you want to go for a bait change, or if you break off and you need to access tackle. It does have to be pulled out, and you gotta shuffle all that crap around to be able to access any bait or tackle. So next, I guess I'll tell you guys a little bit about the mill here, the motor. We went through it. Of course, we did all the fuel line going up to it, just because it had very old fuel line on it. We reworked the prop a little bit, I think. I can't remember. Maybe just a little touch up here and there. Get it shaped nicely. It's an Evinrude 115 Intruder. It pushes the boat, I think, with 2 guys and tournament load, I think it'll run around 40, 42 mile an hour, which is, you know, fast enough for where you need to get. As far as in the motor itself, we did plugs on it. I think we did the ignition, wires. We put carb kits in it, so tore down all of the carbs, rebuild all the carbs with fresh carb kits. It fires up beauty. It's super duper reliable. Yeah, never even a thought anymore. So love it. Great motor. All of the through hull stuff anywhere on the boat, we've pulled out and resealed. Made this custom bracket for mounting the transducer for the Helm unit on it. The trailer itself was in really good shape. We had just gone through it, and we threw some new tires at it, rebuilt the bearings. Actually, I think we put new hubs on this one. I can't remember. I think it was new hubs. Either way, it's in tip-top shape. And then, yeah, so the rest of the hull is in really good shape. At the front here, we did do a little bit of gel coat repair. It was gouged up from the previous owner didn't have the proper spring on it. It was down when he went to drive the boat on the trailer. It gouged up the bow here, but yeah, it got fixed up by us. That was our first gel coat repair. Not too shabby, if I do say so myself. So yeah, that is a tour of our... So yeah, that's a general tour of our second boat, or our old boat, the old boat we still own, the 98 Hydra-Sports 171. It's what got us into power boating. It moved us out of the tin boat and into an actual fiberglass bass boat, if you want to call it that, multi-species boat. So now I'll cut to some footage of me and Dad fishing out of it over the past season or two. So thanks for checking the video out. Subscribe if you're new here, and we'll see you in the next one. Enjoy.
Once it's been running, there's a couple guys over there standing on a deck or something. They're doing something.
There we go. There we go. Pardon me?
I say shit. Put a pin in the tip. Oh, fuck, bud.
You on one?
Oh, I missed a fuck, man, with a big head. It's big.
Nice. I don't even think that one you could put in the live well, but there we go. Now, come on, out of the pads, out of the pads, out from underneath the boat. There we go. There we go. There you go. Full live well. Wow. Oh. Pounder. Pardon me? Oh yeah. There you go. There you go. There you go. 6. 6 in the boat. There we go. Oh, just a dink. Yeah. For sure. Dinkert.